Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy LOZA. I am still a bit sick, so I apologize for my voice, but today I thought I'd talk about a little competition I want to run. Well, it's more like get yourself featured in the next video, and it's going to be all about making your own custom Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Now, I do want them to be Dark Magician related. I want them to be cards that you want in the deck. Some of my suggestions, of course, would be like a Link 1, a Fusion Spell, maybe a retrain of Timaeus that's not trash. They're just some options I'm throwing out there. Obviously, we've got a bunch of fusions already, so I don't mind if there's more fusions, but let's try think of some things that are outside of the box. But I think there's a couple of go-tos that will be staple. But anyone who can make like a Dark Flare Knight or a Dark Sage or a Mirage Knight retrain, I would absolutely love that. So anyone who can make those work, you're the best. I'll have the email down in the description. It's a strange email from when I was 12, so just ignore it. It's weird. It's nastyroxyworld@hotmail.com. Go copy paste that into your email, and please send it with the title of DM cards or DM custom cards. That'd be fine. While we're talking about the custom cards today, I'm just going to have clips of me playing Master Duel playing. So on the topic of custom cards, feel free to make whatever your heart desires. Whether it's a meme, whether it's a dream, go for it. What I personally would like to see is cards that make the DM deck relevant in a competitive environment while not helping other decks. If you reflect on Magician's Souls, on Red Eye's Dark Dragoon, and generally any card like Illusion of Chaos, all of these cards have something in common. One, they're all very good pieces of DM support. Two, they're a little bit too generic. What has that caused? It means other people have played them in their decks, and let's face it, that's kind of cringe. I know I kind of hate that when that happens. I know it will happen in card games, especially Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's very annoying that Magician's Souls was potentially going to get hit on the ban list just because Spiral was abusing it. Luckily, Spiral took the hit instead, which is the correct approach. But there's still that risk that Magician's Souls could have been hit. Same with Red Eye's Dark Dragoon. In the OCG, it's actually been banned. Why? Because every other deck abused it, not because Dark Magician abused it. Dark Magician can play Dragoon fine, and it's not broken at all, because, let's be real, the Dark Magician Archetype needs every broken card it can get, and Dragoon's pretty good for that. So yeah, we'll take our Dragoon any day of the week, thank you very much. So, when you're designing these cards, please keep in mind that if they're too generic, other decks will abuse them. I know it's going to be difficult because now that Illusion of Chaos is a card, people can easily play a little Dark Magician engine that lets them facilitate playing, say, a Dark Magician Fusion type spell that says, oh, you can only use Dark Magician cards from deck or something. Easily by playing the Illusion of Chaos, the Souls engine, even a Rod or two, and the DM Fusion, like, you could just have that as an engine, but at that point, I guess you're playing Dark Magician, so it's kind of fine in the long run. So what I really want to see is, like, a DM link that helps get the DM combo of Circle and Eternal Soul, like you're seeing on the board right now, that helps get them up, because that's one of the most essential Dark Magician combos, and we still struggle to do it. In 2022, we're about to be in 2023, and that's what the decks tried to do for years. Obviously, we used Navigation before with Circle and whatnot, but it's still the same strategy. It's Eternal Soul with Circle, recycling DM over and over, triggering Circle, blah, blah, blah. We need to get that consistent. How do we get that consistent? That is a struggle. I've thought about a Link 1 that can be summoned off any monster that lists Dark Magician, so Rod and Souls, right? But what about those hands, where you just open up a bunch of Dark Magicians, DMGs, and all your bricky cards, right? What do you do in that scenario? So I'm thinking maybe even a Link 1 or 2 that uses material from hand that are the vanilla bricks to some degree. I think that could really work. Of course, ideally, I want a fusion spell similar to that of Red Eye's Fusion, or that of Blue Eye's Fusion, in which the card just suits the deck so well that no other deck can abuse it, and it's just cracked, right? It's probably got to send material from deck. If we look at Soul Servant states that we can draw equal to the Palladium monsters. Palladium, just in general, plural, right? So that's really good for future support. The Link one should be called Palladium while we're talking about it, but anyway. Soul Servant mentions we draw for every Palladium plus Magician, plus Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl, right? But it's like with different names, obviously. So we can inherently get a draw 4 at some point. I think that's a future direction for the deck. Now, I'm not saying I want to play Mahad, Mana, DMG, and DM, because that's a lot of bricks. But we need a card that somehow lets us play all of them, or identifies as them. So I want a fusion. Now, let's be real. The Dark Magicians, the card that literally has DM and DMG on it, that card should identify as Dark Magician and Dark Magician go on field and grave. That is a fact. I will not accept any other answer. It just should. The fact that it doesn't is a hate crime, and Konami suck. So we need fusions or boss monsters, even a link that identify as any of these Palladium monsters or DM or DMG. Obviously we have Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. Yes. Is this card easy to summon? No. So don't tell me that we have that, okay? It's not really part of the combo. We do need cards that identify as the names engraved for Soul Servant, in my opinion. Or if they want us to play those horrible cards like Mahad, DMG, and even Mana, they're not great, right? They're not great. We play them because we have to. And yeah, everyone's like, haha, I play DMG because I like DMG. Yeah, cool, whatever. But ideally, you wouldn't play it, right? Because it's a dead card all the time. So they either need to make us have the most cracked support that playing these bricks is viable, or they need to just make it so we don't have to play them. We can play cards that identify as them. Now, that could be through fusions. That could be through rituals. That could be through links. I really don't care. I just want it done. So your job as a custom card creator for the Dark Magician LOZA card creation competition is to make these cards that are somehow going to boost the deck, make the deck viable. Even a spell that just says, mill 4 cards from your deck that list DM. How crazy would that be? You could send your Soul Servant, you could send DM, DMG, and Mana. Boom. And then banish Soul Servant, draw 3. Absolutely cracked. Make that a spell so Circle can add it. Boom. Circle suddenly becomes a 3-of because we want to see that card that bad. Dark Magician has some good oppressive cards. Like the Bonds package can be quite oppressive going first, though it requires us to play all these bricks, right? We need something similar that's way, way, way less bricky. So I theorize that we could get a spell. I mean, it could be a trap, but we've already got a really solid trap, that being Eternal Soul, even though it nukes our board. What we really need is a spell that Circle adds that's crazy good. Because Circle right now is a joke. Circle whiffs half the time in the DM deck. And one of the reasons it whiffs is because there's not enough good Dark Magician spell traps to actually run to make Circle worthwhile. It's not worth playing Circle at 3, and that's sad, right? Team Sam said Circle's a 3, and we all disagreed. And now he's playing it at 2. Fantastic. We shouldn't have to play it at 2, though, you know? That's the problem. We should be able to play Circle at 3. We should have spells in our deck that Circle grabs that are that good that it's worth it at 3. That's how sad our deck has become, that Circle's played at 1 or 2 mostly, and that's fine. Watch me in this DM mirror match lose also. It's quite funny. I make some misplays, but anyway. We do need better spells. I'm going to say we need a better spell at least that we can play at 3. We need a spell that we play at 3 because Salvation sucked. Let's be real. Salvation is the worst field spell I've ever read. I don't think there's an archetype with a worse field spell. Like, it's that bad. Compare it to any of the other new field spells like the Fenrir field spell. Oh my god, that's a good one. Even the Drytron field spell, Magical Meltdown, for example. What's another great field spell? The new Tier Element field spell. Fantastic card. All of those field spells are amazing. I wanted a DM field spell for years, and we got Salvation. So honestly, make me a new field spell that's actually good. Remake Salvation so it's got a second effect that's useful. Honestly, I don't mind if you take a card that already exists and you make it better. That would be fine too. All you have to do is try to make DM cracked in the most DM-orientated way. DM needs to be cracked in a manner in which it can only abuse the cracked cards. And you must commit to a deck full of Dark Magician. Like, I don't want to see people teching in an engine. I don't want to see people playing DM Fusion or something similar. You know what I mean? I want it to be pure Dark Magician goodness, pure Yugi goodness. And look, this doesn't have to be Tier 1, Tier 0. No. I just want it to be rogue. I want it to be playable. I want it to be like a deck you can take to a tournament and do well with. Not because you know the deck and you know the matchups and you've studied it for ages like me and some others. I just want it to be generically good and people can just pick it up and do well with it. Is that too much to ask, Konami? Just make the deck playable. Because that's what the problem, right? The deck is not really playable. It's expensive and it's not playable. The final thing I will say is have fun with it. Make meme cards. Make a new Karibo that's absolutely cracked. Make a Beaver Warrior that's a Link 1 for the DM deck. I don't know. Do whatever you like. Have fun with it. My personal favorite is the Dark Flare Knight. If someone can retrain that, make it not dog shit, oh my god. I will owe you my life. I love that card. Anyway, I think this Dark Magician custom card competition will give us some insight as to what cards we do need going forward. And hey, if some of them are that good, I might even run some test hands with them, and we'll just see, hey, is this really what we need? Now, besides the generic things I've already stated, like a Link 1, a Fusion spell, blah, 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 you can always just make different versions of them, ones that you think are a little more power crept than others, right? You can make a DM fusion spell that you think's tame, and then you can make one that you think's a bit broken. Go ahead and make multiple versions of your same card, just to say like, oh look, this one seemed a bit too good, so I made like a weaker version. Or if you think it's too weak, like there's the better version. I'm fine with that too. Honestly, you do you, and we'll review the cards. Artwork is optional, by the way. You don't have to have an artwork on there. You can just use artwork of DM cards that already exist, or you can just change the colors on a DM card like that already exists. Or I mean, just go to Google Images and just find something funny. I'm really keen to see what you guys come up with, and personally, like I know I've made DM cards in the past, and some of my friends in the Dark Magician groups have also made their own DM cards in the past, and we've theorized with them, we've tested with them. I think that's the funnest thing. One of the guys has a custom link that just says it does whatever you need it to do at the time, and he has a spell as well. It's just like a DM generic spell. It's like, this card does whatever the owner needs it to do. Like, really good for testing and theorizing, so maybe I'll get him to do some test hands with stuff that we come up with even, because that could be really cool. Anyway, I'm really happy with everything. I'm just super stoked that we could have this really cool little competition. I tried to get a Discord server for it, but it wouldn't work, a channel on there, but whatever, there was a problem with that. So I just think, send me an email, make it easy, it goes straight to me. I'll be able to view all the emails, grab all your pictures, and I'll do a big video reviewing them all. I think it'll be a lot of fun, so please, please, please submit something to that, even if you're not a subscriber, right? If you're just a new person on the channel, please just do it anyway. It'll be a bunch of fun. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, and if you are new to the channel, please do consider hitting that subscribe, and I'll catch you very soon. See ya.